All students who are listening to me, I hope I'm audible and visible. All of you are comfortably seated, and I'm glad to receive many homeworks on the Sustainable Development Goals. I would want to talk on that also. So we have been talking about contemporary issues. I'll be talking about those areas once again. We will be looking at the syllabus, what all is to be included in that, and what all we can do. So we'll be talking about that also. Before that, if you have any questions. Good afternoon to all. All students who are listening to me, good afternoon. We are in contemporary issues. Continuing with topics. These are generally considered miscellaneous topics. Miscellaneous topics, I do not expect a question directly as the syllabus is saying, but I do expect a fusion question. What is a fusion question? I will be giving you a sample also. Is everyone okay? Any questions right in the beginning? If you have any questions, please ask. The A to Z course, the next course which is about to start, that course is starting from the 7th of October. People who are absolutely new, you can join in the Telegram group, and you can also talk about or learn the foundation part, which begins on the 22nd. So whether the person will get rapid and comprehensive EIA, is this in the hand of the proponent chosen experts only? It's like as you are saying that you're applying for Tatkal, you will submit that only. So if the experts are monitoring only for a season, see, if you are looking at all the season, that means the report, the draft report has to cover the whole year. If it is not covering the whole year and you're still submitting, that means you are submitting only a season data. So Sneha, when you're submitting a season data, then definitely that cannot be a comprehensive EIA. Good afternoon, sir. I'm attending live classes after 3 days because I was out of station. Will complete my backlog. Okay, नीरज जल्दी से backlog खत्म करें. Shikal sir, in class you drew CRZ4 outside the sea area towards land, but during revision there on internet I found that CRZ is towards the sea area, not land. Why would CRZ be towards sea area? एक बार शिकल मुझसे share कर लेना where what source you are looking at. True. So that is there. Achha, so all the students who are listening to me, some of you participated in the answer writing session that happened on Sunday. So quickly, some learnings from there. Is that answer writing session far beyond the classes? Is it the next level? So what is your learning? Let me not talk about that. So what was your learning? You are doing the course, you're coming towards the end of the course. So quickly, some people who attended, I think Sneha, you attended it. Kankan ne kiya tha, Ambuj ne kiya tha. So all the students who attended, what was the takeaway from there? I had made an announcement. I will make a similar announcement on Sunday, which is the last day. What can be the follow-up of the course after the course is over? So I will be talking about that also. Quickly, if you have some sharing from there. We are into contemporary issues. Today we'll be talking about these environmental hazards. I had planned a disaster management GS class, but today morning I was not able to extract that time, so we will do it tomorrow. So I got a way to draw map which are in the book or in the traditional sources. So we were looking at a lot of things coming from the maps, yes, which are not in the book. So maps which are not in the books, those are innovations. So many things. And did you also see the applied part of your syllabus? Whatever is in the syllabus, we truly get to apply that. In this. Yes, ma'am. Anything else? Anyone else who attended the session? Same says an idea on how we can deal with the same 20 marker lengthy question. Oh yes, 20 marker lengthy question is always a challenge. And you saw how many dimensions we have to pull out of that. So it is definitely to do with brainstorming, but at the same time you need to have substance also in that. Uske bina kaam nahi chalega. True. Perfect. So Saim was there, Ambuj was there. Any other person wants to share? So we must include map in answer, innovate it from the book, or include spatial aspect in answer. So that was just one part which you had looked at. Map and spatial both are same Yes. I think you did not see how paper 1 was connected with paper 2, how we brought in perspective also. So all that was there. So everyone, have we done the SDG part? Have we done the SDG part? Okay. And I said I will be giving you a question. So shall we start with a question? What are, or list down 17 SDGs? Is this question going to come in the examination? No. So not coming. Okay. Then this question came, who made SDGs? Why were they made? Is that coming? No, this is also not coming. Yes. Is the world on track with SDGs? Possible? This one looks like so. Maybe. Maybe yes. True or not? Suggest a roadmap to achieve SDGs. Possible? Your policy suggestion. True or not? But we are talking about Indian geography. Indian geography में तो ये नहीं आएगा. True. So फिर SDGs आएगा कैसे? The way you did it, that what is the progress of? Assess the progress of SDGs in India. Make sense? Yes or no? ये तो लग रहा है. So we had done that also. But I don't see all these coming in geography. I don't see all this coming in geography. I generally see a fusion question. I generally see areas which are unsustainable. Areas which are unsustainable. Say, for example, primary sector. What is primary sector? Agriculture. What is secondary sector? Manufacturing. What is tertiary sector? Services. Are they going sustainably in India? Are they going sustainably in India? They're not going sustainably in India. So I believe, like if the examiner has to ask a question, a smart question would be, connect sustainable development goals to them. Yes or no? True. Sustainable development goals to them. Is our agriculture sustainable? Yes or no? So that is what I believe, that the questions are going to fall in this category. And I also believe that if you people are smart, you will be able to think in it. In the last topic, I do feel that it has to be a comprehensive understanding of geography, which gives us good answers. Otherwise, answers are not going to be good. एक ये हो सकता है. I also believe that another thing that is driving the world agriculture, manufacturing, service, what is the growth engine of the world is urban centers. Urbanization and sustainability. Yes or no? So did I talk somewhere of sustainable cities? In paper 1 also and paper 2 also I've talked about sustainable cities. And SDGs, are they connecting anywhere? Sustainable cities and SDGs, are they connecting anywhere? Yes or no? And if yes, then how? Big question. So I said I'll be asking you a question. Can I ask you 2 questions related to urbanization and sustainability? One by one we will do them. Okay. One you will think, other you will write the answer. Chalega? So consider this question, that urbanization and urbanization and consequences, and its consequences, are they good or at times bad consequences? They are bad consequences, yes or no? Urbanization and climate change they seem to be making the problem worse. True or not? Are converging dangerously in India. Urbanizations and climate change are converging dangerously in India. Do you agree? You have a question, huh? Ecological issues. In ecological issues, we are looking at various issues about environmental degradation, deforestation, desertification. We are looking at environment management. We are looking at environmental hazards. All these somewhere, are they also connected with climate change? Urbanization is what? Change in land use. Can I say urbanization and its impacts, and environmental degradation in the form of climate change? These two together are creating ground for something. Creating ground for what? Disasters. Yes. Do we agree or not, first of all? Urbanization is there in India. It is haphazard and sustainable urbanization which is happening. Yes, if this urbanization continues to happen, I don't see that India's ecological environmental health is going to improve. Yes, sir. It is going to create problems only. True. So my question is, where all do you see urbanization and climate change are converging? Please brainstorm on this. Please brainstorm on this, everyone. Where do you think they are converging? Quickly, everyone, think about it. Quickly, everyone. So let's have it. Where all is it converging? Where all is it converging? Cities, urban flood, heat island, water stress. Okay. So urbanization is there. Okay. Urban flood is one thing. Flash flood is happening. So AP, whatever you're saying, that will also lead to flash flood. Yes or no? So that will lead to flash flood. Taken, understood. Okay. What else? Chale. So first of all, let me make a map. Everyone, let's make a map. So very good, Sandhya. Neeraj, Sneha, you're saying absolutely okay. So when a question like this comes or the topic comes, first of all, we must be prepared that if they are converging, our answer has to be spatial, no? So we have to show the examiner how they are converging. With me on this, everyone? Let me talk about cities. So is Srinagar a city? Srinagar. Srinagar has an issue of what? Flood. Do we have? Starting from there. Let's talk about Shimla. Shimla issues, जल्दी से बता दीजिए. Water supply. True. Drinking water becomes a problem. And is it related to climate change? I'm saying first of all urbanization. I did not talk about India. No, no, Vishansa, cloudburst is a general thing. वो सारी city में थोड़ी आ रहा है. Cloudburst is about Himalayas. I said let us stick to the city. Yes. So cloudburst हो गया, ठीक है. I understand, no doubt about that. Both of them have this thing flood also. Flood यहाँ पे भी हम मान लेते हैं. Cloudburst से हो रहा है या heavy rainfall, it can be very much there. Is everyone okay? अगर मैं राजस्थान की cities में देखूं तो I hear of a place called Churu. High temperature. 50 degree plus. Yes or no? Delhi NCR. Delhi NCR. What is it? Heat dome. Pollution dome. Where? Delhi NCR. Everyone with me on this? Whatever you've written, it's absolutely okay. अगर आपको आंसर में मार्क्स चाहिए, so how would you work on that or not? Yes or no? ए पे कोलकाता लेते हैं. Kolkata. We are looking at sea level rise also. We are looking at sea level rise also. So submergence. Can I say some submerged area? Can I say cyclone hazard? Especially is aggravated over here. True. As the sea level is rising and all those cyclone hazards. Everyone, have I talked about increasing crime in these cities? Have I talked about slums in these cities? Have I talked about housing problem in these cities? No. What have I talked about? Can you see? Climate change. Climate change, and they seem to be dangerously converging. चेन्नई में क्या है? चेन्नई में दोनों है. वाटर शॉर्टेज ड्राई हो गया था, चेन्नई टर्न ड्राई, प्लस फ्लड, साइक्लोन. डू वी एग्री? बैंगलोर में मुझे क्या बताना, जल्दी बताओ. बैंगलोर, अर्बन फ्लड्स. अग्रीड एवरीवन? जो भी सेंटर्स है हमारे पास, मुंबई एंड पुणे. कैन आई से पुणे इज वाटर शॉर्टेज, वाटर सप्लाई, एंड मुंबई में? True. Is everyone okay? Can I also say that here we are having a lot of dust storms? Cities in this area. True. Can I say for example, I'm talking about Bhopal. Water body is drying. True or not? Marathwada with a, can I say drought? So cities over here will have some issue of droughts. True or not? Patna, did we have floods? Patna floods. Everyone with me? True. Now this is a spatial illustration for this question or this topic. Everyone who's listening to me, can you see that towards the end of the subject or topic, am I asking you, demanding you that use your information, your knowledge to get that? True or not? अब cities की मैं बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, but entire northeast के जो capital cities हैं और other cities, did we see flood and drought 2021, 2022? Yes or? Initially drought and then flood also. Northeast का भी मैंने डाल दिया. Coastal में, can I say Kerala coastal city floods? Coastal South Kerala is low lying. So what is it? Thiruvananthapuram. Yes, LFP. They will all go with the flood or not? Monsoonal flood. So first of all, everyone, can I expect my students to do that? कल मैंने एक breakthrough exercise किया था agroecological areas में. So urbanization and climate change, what are these? Can I say that these are natural hazards? Natural hazards which can become disasters on account of climate change. Do you understand the statement? These are natural hazards and they have become disasters on account of climate change. So यहाँ पर हमारे पास है ना, syllabus says floods and droughts, even epidemics. True or not? Floods, droughts, epidemics. These are big challenges, and I'm saying, are they causing it or not? Is climate change causing it or not? Now, when we are looking at heavy rains, can I say in the Himalayan hilly regions, can I say landslide hazard? Can I say landslide hazard? I know that most of you are drawing this. Quickly draw this and let's have this. इतनी बड़ी कहानी आई है शुभम से. शुभम, sorry to disturb, sir. I am Ravi. मैंने आपकी फाउंडेशन के वीडियो देखे हैं सर. मैंने आपकी फाउंडेशन देखी है. So impressed. Teacher like you is hardly to find. क्या बात कर रहे हो यार, ऐसे मत कहो सर. आपकी गाइडेंस और टीचिंग टेक्निक्स आर वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट एंड कनेक्शन बन पा रहा है. थैंक यू सर. अभी मैं बिगिनर हूं तो मैं आपकी फाउंडेशन कोर्स पेपर 1 पेपर 2 की वीडियो देखूं. एम आई राइट सर? और उसमें आपने एनवायरमेटिक्स की क्लास के बारे में बताया है, तो वो अभी भी चल रही है. सो रवि, ये जो टेलीग्राम ग्रुप है इसी पर फाउंडेशन के लिंक है. सो यू आर डूइंग अ गुड थिंग. इफ यू आर अ बिगिनर, यू डू द फाउंडेशंस, बोथ द फाउंडेशन, बिगिनर फाउंडेशन भी कर लीजिए और एनसीईआरटी फाउंडेशन भी कर लीजिए एंड द एक्सरसाइजेस, मेक श्योर यू डू दैट. ठीक है. एनवायरमेटिक्स हैपेंड लास्ट ईयर आल्सो, दिस ईयर इज 2.0 गोइंग ऑन, बट मेरे प्रोफाइल पे जाएंगे तो मिल जाएगा. ठीक है एवरीवन. अभी बताइए, एनी क्वेश्चन ऑन अर्बनाइजेशन, इज दिस मैप गोइंग टू हेल्प अस? और नॉट? यस. So ये हमारे पास, now that you're preparing for this examination, this should be there. So contemporary issues is about that. Now let us bring in why this is happening, why this link is happening, why they are dangerously converging, why it is happening. ऐसा क्यों है? So this is happening, why many people are not able to do that, and why is the one which we will need for questions like examine and discuss. If it is question illustrate or show how they are converging, तब इतने पे कर देना, no problem. But in this we are surely supposed to get into the whys of it. So कोई why है अभी everyone? Quickly everyone, any why which you think. All issues can be shown on map, no need to write up. No Neeraj, please, I am not saying that beta, this is just a spatial illustration. No, Everyone, do not take my message wrong. Please do not take my message wrong. Answer writing is not just depicting on map. Answer writing is what is the topic in a spatial illustration. Everyone, please understand my question. My question is urbanization and climate change are converging dangerously in India and giving birth to hazards which might eventually turn into, and they are turning into, disasters. Yes, sir. Disasters may turn कर रहे हैं. पूछ रहा हूँ why? Why is this convergence happening? Overpopulation, urbanization led deforestation. Okay, unplanned urbanization. Sneha and AP and Rehan, all of you. You're talking about problems of urbanization. You're not talking about convergence. If I say 70% of greenhouse gas emissions are by the urban areas, by industry and the transport, do you see the connection? No, Naman, I am not into answering general things. Specific bata raha hu. I am training you into, you can write down these as notes also. I have no issues. I am saying I am creating a question. You people have learned brainstorming. You people have become so confident and so happy. अच्छा लगता है कि मेरे students अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. They can think, they can link, and they are doing that. But marks के लिए, if you attended my class yesterday, कुछ specific चाहिए ना. So why they are converging? One, because greenhouse gases तो यहीं से आ रही हैं. So are they converging? So if there is a haphazard urbanization, I understand. But if they are not emitting too much of greenhouse gases, so climate change तो नहीं उस पे converge हो रहा है. True or not? Another one. So everyone, you understand that I am changing the atmosphere. So the gas mix is changing. Yes, urban heat island and all that. Can I also say that I'm playing with the hydrological cycle in the urban areas? Very good, Shivanshi. Concretization, very good. So everyone, please pay attention. I want to write something, two aspects of this. One is I am concretizing things. Get that? And second thing is, where am I putting concretization? Where am I putting that concrete? I'm putting it on the soil, and in that I'm occasionally, as Sayam rightly and Neeraj rightly guessed it, wetland encroachment. Are both of them going to cause a change in hydrological cycle? And are they going to cause climate change, and a convergence will be seen in that? Yes or no? Will a convergence happen? Convergence is happening. Usse phir urban floods aayenge. Urban floods will be there. Now I want to give you all, and you can note also, case study. एक case study अगर हम यहाँ पर डालें, so what can be the case study? In Bangalore city, nearly 200 lakes and water bodies, which used to be the natural reservoirs of water, they have been encroached upon. And I want to tell you, today's 12 September 2022. Go and open Hindu newspaper. The Tehsildar of Bangalore South has issued notices to illegal encroachment by housing society, and that housing society actually encroached upon the flood drain. Imagine a storm drain band kar diya city ka. Storm drain of the city where the flood water will go out, that has been encroached upon by a society. Case study today's newspaper. I don't know how many of you are following that. So Bangalore tea flood, similar flood, I want to tell you, came in the case of Bombay flood when Methi river got clogged. Similarly, Chennai Coombe river got clogged. Yes, Mangalore, I told you, New Mangalore, because of the urban construction, that water cannot flow back. So storm drains are being clogged. Is everyone okay? Urbanization, poor urbanization, and climate change. Climate change is causing more rainfall. Let it flow out. But what you have done all those things. So are they converging or not? Is everyone with me? Are you with me on this? Do you see those things converging or not? Any questions, please ask. Any questions, any suggestions, please ask. Now this is how we are looking at the answer. True? Forest cover, vegetal cover. Can I say vegetal cover is going? Now tell me in this answer, do we have where? Do we have why? If somebody asks me, spatially examine urbanization, climate change induced disasters, can I talk about that or not? True. I also want to add one more thing. Since there is a topic called as epidemics, yes or no? Everyone, do we have a topic called as epidemics? Can I say climate change is also having an impact on the diseases, their spatial spread? True. You've heard mosquito, vector-borne diseases, vector-borne mosquito-related diseases, be dengue, chikungunya. Yes. Are they reaching from tropical to temperate? Have I already talked about this? From tropical countries, these are reaching to temperate. Is this a fact, known fact, that because of climate change, diseases are entering new geographies? Diseases spatial spread into new geographies. Everyone with me on this? But I am looking at, my question is not on climate change. My question is urbanization and climate change and disease. Urbanization. Can I say not sustainable, sorry. Haphazard urbanization is leading to creation of slums, slums become the breeding ground of diseases. Dharavi, case study. Dharavi, case study. One of the highest population densities for slums. What is the highest density? If you remember, Delhi has a density. What is the density of Delhi? 11,000 or 17,000? 17,000 persons per square kilometer. 11,000. Dharavi has got more than 2 lakh person per square kilometer. True or not? SMA cholera outbreak. SMA, if cholera happens, dysentery happens, cholera outbreak. Big challenge. SMA ही corona, novel corona epidemic. Corona epidemic. More than 50% had that. How do you manage this? Can you use that as a case study? Are they converging or not? Everyone. Are they converging dangerously or not? The temperatures are increasing, heat waves, very, very normal. Very normal in the cities. Do we have heat waves? Are we having heat waves or not? Everyone, tell me. So what do we say for all these things? Everyone, is the audio video showing or not? Yeah, the clear. I'm saying these are the dimensions for the idea like this, where a hazard is brewing and can it turn into a disaster? Everyone, is it fine? Did you hear all my points on this? And I'm not done. If this is a 20-mark question, should we have more dimensions? Let us look at urban areas and climate change together. Let us look at urban areas and climate change together. And what comes to my mind is climate change is leading to mean sea level rise. Yes, or mean sea level rise. Can I say Chennai, Kolkata, big cities? Mean sea level rise is happening. Can I say storm surges are going to be higher? Storm surge. So when the storm comes, it comes with a elevated sea level. So storm surge will be higher. So can I say greater coastal flooding? Yes. Can I also say, what do we call it? Ingress of seawater. Ingress of seawater into freshwater aquifers. Yes or no? It was seen. Example I'm giving you, cyclone Amphan impacted Kolkata region aquifers. Do we get that? Everyone, do we have ideas, sufficient ideas, and various illustrations to work on? True. Now let me come to this. What causes these hazards? Our topic is hazard, no? Our topic is hazard. So there are natural processes, melting of movement and melting of tectonic plates, movement of water through atmosphere. Melting of tectonic plate is what? Volcano. Movement is what? Earthquake. Atmosphere is what? Rainfall. And oceans, when we're talking about land, surface and groundwater, oceans are waves. Movement of rocks and soil through weathering, so that is also lithosphere. Or all these lithosphere related things. Can this lead to landslide? Can ocean waves lead to tsunami? Can volcano and earthquake come here? If the water does not move, sinkhole happens where? Limestone regions. And flooding we already looked at. Is everyone okay? Now can I say both these things are natural hazards. Natural hazards are means there is a natural tendency of that area to be impacted by certain natural events. True or not? Is everyone okay? Can I say climate change is aggravating all these things? Yes. Forget climate change. Can I say urbanization and climate change together are converging on this? You might say the tsunami. How can tsunami be related to urbanization, everyone? How can tsunami be related to urbanization? So everyone please understand. Tsunami comes. Is a ship floating on the sea impacted by tsunami the way the coast is impacted? No, the ship is not impacted. The ship will have some amplitude, but a very, very mild amplitude. These tsunamis, they are named tsunamis because they acquire that amplitude in the coastal areas. In the coastal area, they are called harbor waves. In the coastal area, they might rise to the height of 30 to 40 meters also. Imagine. Coastal area. But इधर अगर कोई ship है, तो उसको ship को तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. True or not? But human beings, if they are living over here, they will be impacted. So can I say urbanization? Coastal areas. Coastal areas. I'm talking about very huge concentration of population in coastal areas. Shanghai. The city is going down. Chennai. True or not? So the death toll can increase due to urbanization of coastal areas. Absolutely okay, Prasenjit. That brings me to an essential difference between hazard and disaster. Is everyone okay? So we are given in our syllabus natural hazards, and I'm saying that these hazards, landslides, earthquakes, tsunamis, they become disasters. They become disasters because we are aggravating the situation. Is everyone okay? So what is the difference between hazard and a disaster? And are all hazards disasters? Have you heard this equation? Disaster is a function of hazard, vulnerability, and risk. Have you heard this? What is the difference between these? So hazard is a potential disaster. Disaster is damage. It is a bad event. It is an event which will cause a lot of damage. What is hazard? Hazard is a potential event which may happen, may not happen. What is vulnerability? Proneness. And what is risk? Risk is the possibility and probability of hazard. Do we get that? So this is what I would have talked about in the GS classroom. मैं नहीं कर पाया, अभी एक special class कल कर लेंगे. So people who are beginners who do not know what is disaster and the meaning of difference between disaster and hazard. So everyone, if earthquake comes, can I control it? I cannot control it. So it's a potential event that can happen. An earthquake comes and it is a desert region. Nobody is living over there. There is no proneness to this. Degree of proneness depends upon your preparedness, your coping ability. Yes or no? So I am not in the desert, no issues. Yes or no? But if I am living in Himalayas, is the possibility and probability of an earthquake higher or not? True. Himalayan belt compared to the peninsular block, where the risk is higher. Where is the risk higher? Himalaya. Vulnerable. Which population is more vulnerable? A highly dense urban center, or a scattered population, desert scattered population? Yes, highly dense urban center. Yes. Which one is more vulnerable? Poor countries or rich countries? Poor countries are more vulnerable. Just want to give you an example. Post-COVID, are rich nations, developed nations on a recovery path or not? Are they on a recovery path, developed nations? Yes or no? Can I say developing nations? Many have collapsed. Sri Lanka being an example. Pakistan, you may not count it, but then the fact is the problem is there. Yes or no? Think about post-COVID, the rich people of India. Have they become richer? Think about unorganized sector. Think about the poor sector. True. Who's more vulnerable? Everyone. Can I say certain social groups? Say for example, old age people, are they more vulnerable? Can I say children more vulnerable? Can I say anywhere in the world, women are more vulnerable? Can I say minorities are more vulnerable? True. I'm saying a hazard may not impact everyone the same way. Yes. So ISIS captured Iraq. But there we are looking at the minorities which are living over there. Will ISIS do more damage to the minorities? Yes, sir. In Myanmar, did we see the minorities or Rohingyas? Are they more vulnerable? Are Rohingyas more vulnerable or not? Anywhere we are talking about, anywhere in the world, will the minorities be more vulnerable? So disaster will happen. Disasters are man-made disasters also, natural disasters also. Say for example, a chemical leak happened in Bhopal. Bhopal gas leak happened. That's a disaster. It was a hazard. Was there near a chemical plant, near a nuclear plant? Is there a potential event possible or not? That's a hazard. Hazard is an event which is possible. Whether it will happen or not, possibility and probability. Can the possibility and probability be reduced by EIA? Proper implementation of law? Yes or no? Can I say in the Visakhapatnam case, that was not followed. EIA exemption was, you are not looking at the risk part of it. You are adding to the risk. Yes or no? True. Everyone. People. In the examination, UPSC examination, is there a hazard? Possibility of failure. Is failure a hazard of UPSC examination? Yes or no? When you stick to only one book or one note, are you increasing your risk? Are you increasing your risk? And people who do not have a thinking mind, who have poor language, yes, who've never written, no written practice, who have not done any brainstorming, are they more vulnerable? Yes or no? People who like more chamak dhamak, yes or no, YouTube pe ad dekhkar, are they more vulnerable, gullible people? Yes or no? Many people have been fooled by that. They only like that red light wali entry, yes, Azim Oshan Sensha type, sunte wo log. ऐसे केस में अगर तीनों कॉम्बिनेशन मिल गए, if all the three combination become wrong, what will happen? Disaster will happen or not? True or not? Bangalore, elevated area, urban area, concretized area. If too much rain happens suddenly, is there a potential event there? True. Because we have encroached upon the water bodies, we have concretized things, we have also illegally occupied those storm drains. Have we added to the risk? The possibility and probability has increased or not? Yes or no? Are people made aware of that? Are people told? People who are from Bangalore, is the government administration telling people, kabhi bhi flood aa sakta hai, be careful, do this, these are the do's and these are the don'ts? No. And is Bangalore having so many migrants who may not be aware of the areas which are more prone to flood or something? They're just looking at kahin par hame hostel ya kamra mil jaye. Yes or no? अब तो उस घर के बाहर बोट खड़ी है. True or not? अब तो ना कैब है ना कुछ है, the boat is available. बोट से निकलना पड़ेगा. What was available? Job was available, money was available, but you did not realize that it is a disaster in making. True or not? Coastal areas, do they have a hazard of cyclone? True. When the government is not keeping coastal warning system, when the government is not keeping storm shelters ready, when the government is not thinking about disaster relief ready before that, are we increasing the risk? Yes. Poor people are the most vulnerable people. Homeless people are the most vulnerable people. Yes or no? True. So that's what is disaster. Is everyone, do you get the equation? Everyone clear on what is hazard, what is vulnerability, what is risk? I'm not giving too much into that. I do that in the GS के लिए, तो कल कर लेंगे ये वाले framework पर. Okay, many of the destructive hazards are natural in origin, like earthquake, extreme weather event. They are natural. They happen naturally. Flood and droughts. It is when human beings were not there, even then floods and droughts were happening. Yes or no? It is said that the Indus Valley civilization went only because of these droughts. Climate change was drought. Okay. But disaster, on the other hand, is not a natural event. Is everyone okay with my statement? Why disaster is not a natural event? They are endogenous to the society, and disaster risk arises when hazard interacts with, there is a hazard, it interacts with physical, social, economic, environmental vulnerabilities and exposure to the population. Do we understand this? Is everyone okay? Is this a mathematical way of writing this? School में जिन लोगों को function में लिखना आता था, have I given this? अच्छे से box में बनाना, लिखना है disaster is a function of hazard, vulnerability and risk. And people ask me, how will I do that? I can do that. And sir, how will I show it on the map? Hello, ये तो सारा ही है. अभी तो बनाया आपने map. Is it? All these areas have hazards, and hazards have been converted into disasters. True? Can we do that? So very clearly, you have the map also, you have the idea also, and if you want something more, तो मैं आपको diagram में भी दिखाता हूँ. What is natural hazard? Natural hazard. It's a physical process which has potential to cause loss or damage. It has a potential to cause damage to something valued by individual and society. Yes, sir? It can be potential, catastrophic, and chronic physical event. In the past, it has happened. It can happen suddenly, magnitude, duration, many things are there. Do we understand what is natural hazard? Natural hazard is there in our syllabus. Earthquake is a natural hazard. Tsunami is a natural hazard. Flood is a natural hazard. Drought is a natural hazard. Okay? Vulnerable. What is vulnerable? How prone are you to damage? Yeah, right? As I said, rich people are less prone. Because of COVID, who was under lockdown, who was on the roads? Did we see migrants? Can I say migrants are more vulnerable? Yes or no? So such populations, can I say Sri Lankan economy was more vulnerable because it was dependent only on tourism? True. Land use. If you have occupied Uttarakhand mountains for tourism, hill tourism, is it more vulnerable? Infrastructure and critical facilities. Can I say earthquake may skyscrapers are more vulnerable? Tall buildings are more vulnerable? Yes or no? Cultural aspects. Culture where people are well integrated cultures. Will they come out and help each other? True or not? Materialistic culture. Because this is a problem in Germany. Why should Poland be interested? Yes. Why should France be interested? Why should US be interested? It's a problem in Amazon forest. Well, you should be interested. That's the culture. Remember I told you which culture? Ecocentric or technocentric? Ecocentric culture or technocentric culture. True or not? Acha. There is drought happening. Everyone do understand drought is happening. Now, I have a country which has sufficient water resources, and I have a country which doesn't have water resources. Who will be hit more? I'm talking about water shortages. Water shortages. Let's talk about Bihar, Bengal with Haryana, Punjab. Who will be hit more by water shortage? Natural resources. The endowment is different, no? So if the endowment is different, the vulnerability will be different. The proneness, the potential will be different or not? Yes. I also told you that it can also be in the sense of how people are willing to mitigate, prepared, respond, and recover. Are people prepared? Can I say developed countries are prepared? A cyclone comes and hits Sri Lanka today or Pakistan today, which we saw Pakistan floods. Yes or no? Pakistan floods, yes, and flood in France. Pakistan flood and flood in France. Which one is going to make a bigger impact? Which one is a bigger disaster? Pakistan is a disaster. Pakistan is a disaster. France, they will manage. क्या होगा? एक दो लोग मर जाएंगे. True or not? In Australia, imagine in Australia, my brother in Australia, in the second wave, or rather the first wave, they were looking at it. If there were 5 to 6 cases in a city, they were putting a lockdown. 5 to 6 cases in a city. 5 to 6 cases. Well, that's how they respond. That's their willingness. In India, 5 to 6, 50 to 60,000, then 4 to 5 lakh per day. तब भी सोच रहे हैं अभी लगाना है नहीं लगाना. True. Everyone, please understand, hazard and vulnerability are two different things. Okay, that? You opt for UPSC. The hazard is failure. Yes. Vulnerability. Your parents have full trust in you. They support you in failure as well as success. Is the chance of disaster high or low? Chance of disaster high or low? Absolutely low. अगर fail भी हो जाता है, the parents will say, बेटा, get up again, we are standing with you. Your teacher says, okay, don't worry, this time you did not know answer writing. आगे बढ़ते हैं, क्या tension है? That's not a disaster. True or not? I remember, Saurabh Pandey, he was giving his 6th attempt where he scored 66. I remember him by 3 6s. So, 6th attempt. So, he says, when I was having a discussion with him on my YouTube discussion post the result, he said, sir, the comments which you gave, in those master stroke papers, they were so encouraging. When I was writing those answers, I did not have such high hopes of my own writing. But the comments which you gave, the way you told me that what is right and what is wrong, I was very, very confident that my teacher trusts me. Why should I worry? Achhi baat hai. Your teacher trusts you. Can I say you no longer feel vulnerable? True or not? And can I say Indian society makes us feel more vulnerable most of the time? If you have any doubt, ask the cricket team. They'll tell you how vulnerable they are. True. कब उनके साथ क्या हो जाए? कभी मैच हार के आए ना, पब्लिक को फन भी उन्हीं पे करना है. जब मैच जीतते हैं तब भी इंडिया भी हम ही बोलते हैं. Yes or no? When we beat them in the first Pakistan match, वो अपना तो ईगो बूस्ट था ना. It was ego boost for all of us. Yes or no? None of us doubted their technique. None of us doubted their this thing. Pakistan ने वो तो हारने का. Suddenly when we lose in the second match with Pakistan, नहीं, this all match is fixed यार. पहले ही सब पैसा खा के बैठे. Now that's the faith we show in our players. That's the faith we show in our players. Do you think that most of the players who went for these Commonwealth Games and who won the medals, उन सबके साथ society खड़ी हुई थी? Do you think they had strong support? They felt super vulnerable. Now that they've cleared the societies with them, हमें शुरू से पता था. Yes, no? I had a student, she got into top ranks in Indian Forest Services. So I was talking to her and she said, so many people have come to my place to congratulate me and they've said, हमें शुरू से पता था. तो पता था तो मुझे भी बता देते. All these years never came to tell me शुरू से पता है कि बच्ची में potential है. She said, I left a job and everyone will come and talk to my father. How can your daughter leave such an important job and get into this? There is no certainty and all. This is all foolish and all that. She said, you are my teachers. You stood with me. But these people who come here to congratulate and with trophies, they never stood with me. Today they're saying, we knew from day one. We live in a society which does not give us much cover. That's why the biggest priority that we have is cover. किसी तरह से अपने को cover करो. Protection. Play safe. Sir, notes दे दो ना sir. Why discuss? Sir, मैं लिखाऊंगा जो भी होगा. True. That's what I'm saying. You will find that many people are blessed with parents, with family, with friends, with teachers who trust them and who stand with them both in failure as well as success. Lucky people, they should thank their God and thank their stars for that, because many disasters have been averted because of that. Many disasters don't happen because of that. And I want to tell you, many potential opportunities were missed for the fear of disaster by many of you. नहीं यार, ये नहीं करना यार. Fail हो गए तो सब हंसेंगे. True or not? What if I fail? What will my parents say? True or not? And can I say parents were also one day sitting in some classes talking to some teacher the way you are? Can I say your parents were equally vulnerable when they were growing? In fact, more vulnerable. Can I say India has come a huge way in the growth path? Can I say the parenting of your parents was in a higher vulnerability environment. So expecting them to see your adventurous spirit sportingly difficult. True or not? पहले रिजल्ट लिया नौकरी कर ली उसके बाद बात करियो. Are they to be blamed? I would not say they are to be blamed. I'm saying probably they've learned to save themselves from disasters. And since you are so near and dear to near and dear to them, that they don't want to push you towards disaster. But then tell them that the ecosystems have changed. We need to give them that belief that the ecosystem has changed. Get that? And there are more support systems. Tell them that I do accept that there are risks. Hazard and vulnerability decide your risks. And tell them that I have a greater risk-taking capability than your generation. And thank them for that. True or not? Many of you sitting here have left jobs. Some of you are listening to me in recording. You are doing this after the job. Yes or no? You are risking. You could have focused on your job and got a promotion. You're risking that. It's okay. My career progression, no problem. Many of you are in a family. You have your kids and other things, other relations. You are risking that for some time. It's okay. Let me do this. True or not? I want to tell you, your risk-taking ability and your parents' risk-taking ability are two different things. They are more on the cautious side, which again goes into their own vulnerabilities, which is not wrong, which is absolutely okay. But now if you really want them to support you, you really need to enroll them into your preparation. I say from day one, you have to have all the stakeholders in this preparation. Otherwise, disaster just din hoga. Next day, very big challenge happens. Failure can break people. I've seen people shattered with failures. And I've seen people who stand up even after failures. It's all what their ecosystem is. Get that? And if you want to manage disasters, you should manage what? Risk. You should manage risk. Risk is by taking it easy, memorizing some notes. There is risk. Not writing any answers. There is risk. Just attending the class. There is risk. Just populist debates. हाँ ठीक है यहाँ से एल्निनो बन गया इलानीना बन गया मुझे ज्योग्राफी आ गई. That's not there. Risk of a disaster lies at the interface of this. Can you make this as an illustration in your answer? कर सकते कि नहीं? कर सकते हैं? If hazards are allowed to become disasters, please understand what can a disaster do. Disaster can destroy the lives and livelihoods of people in the world. I want to tell you, it has UPSC failure disaster has destroyed many years for many young aspirants. 6-7 साल of your youth is just wasted in that. If the hazard is allowed to be a disaster. Disaster sets back the hard-won economic development gains. Whatever you had developed, can I say Sri Lanka has been pushed 20 years behind. True or not? Sri Lanka 20 साल पीछे चला गया कि नहीं? Will it impact the socio-economic strata? Will it impact the social institutions, the sectors? And can I say Sri Lanka has been put into more vulnerabilities have been added in Sri Lanka? True or not? Can I say unorganized sector in India? Unorganized sector in India because of COVID has been pushed back. Many people have been pushed back into the below poverty line. True or not? This is what we have to look at. If disaster is to be managed, it is not about managing flood. It is not about managing earthquake. It is managing the vulnerabilities of the people. It is about seeing how much risk are they taking. Can we make the risk reduction happen? So this is called disaster risk reduction. This is the focus of all disaster management today. Disaster risk reduction. So when I tell my students, see, I can behave like a baba and say, बच्चा अब तुम मेरी शरण में आ चुके हो, तुम्हारा भला हो जाएगा. You read somebody writing that big message, sir आप मिल गए, महान व्यक्ति मिल गए. I can be very happy about it. I can really say, हाँ बेटा सही आ गए, तुम finally सही आ गए. But there is a risk. Suppose if I, Sachin Arora, am making a mistake. I am making a mistake somewhere. I am missing on some point. Because of my mistake, will your proneness, vulnerability to disaster increase or not? That's why I say, come on, yaar, I am here, Sachin Arora, and you are there, Ramesh. Let us be together. Let me teach you whatever is there. You please do your homework. True or not? True or not? Am I doing risk reduction? Am I doing risk reduction? And I also want to tell you, when people keep on doing this, I have seen many people who are preparing for this examination. When they were dependent on the teacher, no, their preparation was very passive. Moment they took the things in their hand, they started liking it. And they decided to push the thing further. Because once my course is over, I'm not there as a constant push, no. But you have been living with yourself all these years, and you'll continue to live further. Yes or no, self-propelled. So that's what I'm saying. I do the risk reduction by telling you that you are Aham Brahmasmi. How can I be? Teacher is a facilitator. I think that should be my role. I should not be a assistant बन के हीरो बनने का मुझे कोई जरूरत नहीं है. अगर मैं हीरो बनूंगा तो मेरा स्टूडेंट जीरो बनेगा. Why? I want you to be my heroes and heroines. True. So disaster नहीं होना है, सब आगे बढ़ना है. This is what I did not talk about, but you will find that many of the students who are writing answers on disaster, they're talking about the Sendai framework of disaster reduction. Just like we have the Millennium Sustainable Development Goals going on. Everyone, we have a framework of disaster risk reduction. Tomorrow 11 a.m. I'll be talking about this class. Is everyone with me? तो ये मैं आज कर नहीं पाया. So 1989 International Decade for Natural Disaster Reduction was declared by UN. Remember I told you, people who attended my environmentics class, this is the decade of action on sustainable development. Yes, no? Oceans for sustainable development and ecosystem restoration. 3 decades. If you attended my this thing, 1989, UN declared that it is the decade of natural disaster reduction. Okay? This is considered as a big start of this, and I want to tell you that this thing, even India started putting things into place around this time. Okay? 1992. UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, and climate change. So can you see, climate change is also working along with that. Climate induced, this thing is also there. True. 1994, we came up with Yokohama Strategy of Plan Action. Okay? 1999, International Strategy for Disaster Reduction. 2005 was special. Hyogo Framework Action Plan 2005 to 15. And Hyogo has finally led to Sendai. So ये पूरा framework is there. I will be talking about that in the special class tomorrow. But I want to tell you that people who are writing mains, geography optional, they freely use the ideas from Sendai framework. So if they are talking about natural hazards and disaster, these things are mentioned in the Sendai framework also. So उनके आंसर में रहता ही रहता है. And as I told you, we can end poverty 2015 Millennium Development Goals. First we had Millennium Development Goals, and now what do we have? We have SDGs working. So Sendai framework is the first global policy framework post 2015 agenda. Yes, explicit reference to health, development, and climate change. So please get that. How did I talk about city? Did I talk about city health? Did I talk about cities per capita income? Yes. Did I talk about cities climate change? To develop Sendai framework, the UN Office of Disaster Risk Reduction, can you see disaster risk reduction? I hope you understand this phrase now. You should be using these phrases in your answer. Organized and facilitated several global, regional, national, and intergovernmental negotiations and technical meetings in the periods preceding this conference. So a lot of things happened. Now that is about this, so we will be doing that tomorrow. Disaster management क्या है? ये करेंगे. Question क्या है? Everyone, did we understand sustainable development goals? And did we understand something about disaster? Yes. So let's go for a quick 5 minutes break और उसके बाद एक आंसर लिखेंगे. Everyone, on sustainable development goals and urban centers, I'm going to ask, and I'm also going to talk about forest and floods in the class, and natural disaster vulnerability of Indian agriculture. So we are talking about that. After the break, we will have a question. We will write an answer. So let's have a 5-minute break, not a long one. After a quick break, take a question. You know about sustainable, you know about cities, and you also know about sustainable development goals. True. Let's write something on this. Whatever you can, try doing that. How do sustainable cities and human settlements, how do sustainable cities and human settlements fit within the sustainable development goal framework? You have to write this into pages. 200 words, 10 marks. Or you can make it 15 marks and 220 words. 200 to 220 words. It's 1630 to 1640. 10 minutes you have to write. Everyone, people who did not understand the question, what is the question saying? In sustainable goal development, there are 17 sustainable development goals. How does the idea of sustainable city fit in over there? Let's see how many of you are able to think and link. Okay, everyone, stop. Challenging questions. Sustainable cities. We are looking at disaster proofing our cities. Whatever you've written, let's play with the idea. What is SDG 1? Hunger. Are cities fighting with hunger? Sustainable cities. They're doing with that. Poverty, sorry. Poverty and then hunger. Hunger. Number 5. Number 5 and 6 quickly. Gender equality. Number 6. You have done your homework. Jaldi say. Clean water and sanitation. Number 8. Number 8. Energy. Number 8 is work. Decent work. Okay. Work, hey, energy. Which one is energy? I thought energy is which one? 7. Okay. SDG 7 is energy. SDG 7 is energy. 12, everyone. 12. Responsible production नहीं होगा बेटा, consumption होगा. चलो, consumption and production. ठीक है. Number 13. 13 is climate change, climate action. 14 and 15 are life. Life on land, life in water. 14 is what? Life in water. And 15 is life on land. Is everyone okay? We're talking about cities, everyone. We're talking about cities. Get that? Have we got cities which are talking about wind farms, windmills? Do we have cities with solar parks or solar panels on top of buildings? Wind, solar. Can I say SDG 7? Can I say in India Solar India Mission? Solar mission where the grid-based energy is also there. We are looking at all those things, be it in the urban areas, be it in the rural areas also. Do we have that SDG 7 happening? True. Responsible consumption and production. Can I say waste disposal and treatment? Are cities having this goal or not? SDG 12. True or not? I'm not making a map. I'm just looking at one framework which is going for me. True. Do I have EV charging stations? EV charging. What is EV charging? Electric vehicle charging. Can I say SDG 7 only? 7 in this. Can I say sustainable housing? Housing. Can I say building design? Building design. Yes. We are looking at in India, we have a rating system called Econivas. Econivas. Can I bring in that also? Everyone? In the cities, am I looking at that? With me on this? I'm just trying to link. Cities are engines of growth, high contribution to GDP contribution, yes or no? Attract FDI. Therefore, employment goes up, per capita income goes up. Which goal will be helped by this, everyone? Will 1 and 2 be helped by this or not, everyone? Will it be done? Do we have a SDG on sustainable cities itself? The sustainable cities SDGs कौन सा है? SDG 11. They will have housing. Housing. So I want to tell you, example I am giving you this. Bhubaneswar. Bhubaneswar allowed all the slum dwellers all slum dwellers who have lived more than 2 decades. They were given ownership right. Singapore is a city state. Singapore is a city state. Cheap loans for urban हाउसिंग. इंडिया में कौन सा है? प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना शहरी. Have you heard of this? प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना शहरी. Is it going to go over there or not? With me on this? Can I say solar parks, windmills? We have already done that. Can I say SDG कौन सा है हमारे पास? 5. Gig economy, women empowerment and job, maternity leaves, urban corporate jobs. SDG 5. True or not? Poverty I've looked at, hunger I've looked at, gender I've looked at, clean water, sanitation. Can I say Swachh Bharat Abhiyan? Yes. Energy, everyone is the audio video fine? Lagging. Audio video fine or lag? Slight lag. Energy, waste to energy program in India है ऐसा कुछ? Already about NICs. Can I say SDG, disaster resilient cities? Is everyone getting something or not? Disaster resilient cities, adoption of Sendai framework. Yes, build back better approach. Sendai framework में एक है build back better approach. If you've heard of that. Everyone, is the audio video fine? Audio video fine or not? Perfect. So we are looking at build back better approach. I get that some power cut and all those things keep on happening. I don't know, in the society some issues are there, and have been, some backups are there, but the backups are at times not supporting. Building, sorry. Urban morphology, urban mix of Hoyt sector model, to have been mixed. CBD, Central Business District is connected by the MRTS, Mass Rapid Transport System, MRTS metro. Yes or no? Walking and cycling track. Sustainable city when we are talking about. Everyone, is the audio video fine? I am making the design of a city. Less concretization. Grass cover. Green belt. Grass cover, green belt. commercial centers. This is called TOD, transit oriented development. Transit oriented development. Exclusive industrial areas. Wetlands, public recreation, and all that. Even urban morphology, when we are talking about, cities are adopting a mix of sector model also. The sectors are also created. Say, for example, this sector is industrial sector, this is the commercial sector, this is the CBD, and all those things. We have the roads and other things aligned. Housing, but when we are talking about housing or building designs, building codes, they can be, like waste treatment plant, all those things. Everyone, how do sustainable cities and human settlements fit within sustainable development goal? Through these illustrations and diagrams, do you get a lot of idea about the urban structure also, disaster preparedness of cities also, how can be cities made disaster resilient also. We are looking at resilience also. Say, for example, we can also have city drainage, sewage plan, and everything has to be there. I'm saying if we are able to think like this, our answers will get power. Ab aap bataiye, your answer, was it too general or not? Was your answer too general or not? How will we get these levels of answers? If you are reading a newspaper, if you are connecting Sendai framework with this, if you are connecting these words. See, last topic, if I don't raise the bar of the class, if I just say, हाँ ठीक है, जो भी है हमारा syllabus खत्म हो गया, so people who get an opportunity to write mains, how will they crack it? So this will help us revise all chapters together. So Sneha, haven't you come through all my breakthrough exercises towards the end of the course are about connecting everything? So we had 33 natural regions. Then we had, yesterday I was talking about those 20 eco regions, people who participated. Now I'm connecting that also. अब एक और connection करके दिखाता हूँ. One more connection, since we are still talking. Everyone, is the audio video fine? Ramesh is saying, sir, आप हो या नहीं? रमेश, मैं हूँ. बीच में तुमने कहा मेरी आवाज चली गई है. All good? Let's hope the power does not play power plays. So disaster management, as I was talking about, for GS level, it is very dead. So as I will talk about that in the special class, providing assistance to disaster affected. CBD डेवलपमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं तो नोएडा की सोसाइटी उसका प्रूफ दे रही है. Yeah. So you were talking about another idea of connecting SDGs question we were doing. Everyone, am I audible? Am I visible? Audible, visible? Chalo. So we're talking about disaster management, disaster affected population, उनको कुछ help करना. The turning point came in UNGA's recognition as the importance of reducing the impact of natural disaster in 1990s when it was declared as the International Decade of Natural Disaster Reduction. And since then we have been talking about disaster risk reduction. Get that? The shift is from pure hazard response, instead of just responding to a hazard like flood, identify why flood happens, assess, ranking of vulnerability. As I said, there will be hierarchy, where will be more, and risk, including the unequal distribution in population, became critical. And the Sendai framework includes that. So now I have, this is a GS stuff which I will be doing in tomorrow's special class. I want to know that is our agriculture prone to disaster? Is Indian agriculture prone to disasters? Just like our cities are prone to disasters, is agriculture prone to disasters? Which disaster? Which disaster, everyone, quickly? क्लाउड बर्स्ट और एग्रीकल्चर सोनल फ्लड ड्रॉट तो मुझे दिखाई दे रहा है. क्लाउड बर्स्ट की जगह इफ यू हैड सेड लाइक वो क्या बोलते हैं, हेलस्टोन, लीचिंग, सैलिनाइजेशन. Okay, keep adding heat waves. Pest attacks, acid rain. Okay. तो उपेंद्र वो एग्रीकल्चर में क्यों जाएगा? समथिंग स्पेसिफिक टू दैट? ओके, चलो फिर. So you've talked about this, but I want to see it. I want to see it in a specific sense. So is Indian agriculture prone to disasters? Quickly make a map, everyone. So I really heard recently a lot of horticulture crop damage here. In fact, today's Hindu newspaper is covering that. Apple crop pe aaya, if you read that op-ed page, apple cultivation. आज मैंने उसमें दिया भी था मॉर्निंग में, कश्मीर में दिस थिंग अबाउट सिविल सोसाइटी. सो हॉर्टिकल्चर क्रॉप prone to disaster? Yes or no? Why? Snow, hailstones. Can I say this area is ये मैंने सिंबल ऐसे बनाया है, अब मान लेना इसको locust attack. Locust attack, can I say that? Can I say this whole area, Vidarbha, Marathwada and Telangana? Yes. Drought prone. Can I say that? In this, can I say in the plantation? Heavy rainfall in plantation areas. In the coastal area, can I say cyclone? We were looking at pest attack in cotton belt. Pest attack. Here I have heard of hailstorms. Do we agree? %49 is irrigated. 51% is irrigated, and 51% is rain fed. Does that bring vulnerability? Workforce, 43% is engaged in agri and allied. Can I call this as vulnerability? Can I call this as hazards? True or not? Population engaged in agriculture is huge. Area rain fed is huge. Akash says, good evening. How to start geography optional? So, beta, there is this Telegram group. You can go on that Telegram group, Akash. You can look at the pinned comment. Pinned comment is for the beginners. Okay. 22nd of September, we're starting a new batch foundation. You can join that also. Is everyone okay? यहाँ पर, can I also say the hilly areas, इधर के plantations are having a hazard of landslide. Correct? इधर hazard of desertification है. Can I say that to my agriculture? Everyone with me on this? Everyone with me on this? I will go for now spatial part. So everyone, whenever you get disasters, please identify the hazard and vulnerability very, very clearly. ये पहले करना है, ठीक है? A question on disaster, please identify the hazard and vulnerability. I'm giving you the idea. Then you go for speciality of it. Spatial case studies or examples. If I'm talking about flood, annual Brahmaputra floods. Can I take that as a special example? Agriculture ko, is it a big challenge? Annual Brahmaputra flood. Can I say cyclonic floods in coastal states? You can take East Coast or you can even take Kerala as an example. Everyone okay with that? Can I say in this, because I'm talking about disaster, increased vulnerability due to encroachment of low-lying areas. Indian agriculture, we are adding to the vulnerability. Case study में vulnerability डालनी है. I hope you understand what is vulnerability, how vulnerable people are, how prepared they are. So we will add that also. So that should also go. Is everyone okay with the flood part of it? True. So इसमें अगर आपको करना हो, you can very well talk about some river also. Say for example, even ये तो हमने देखा है गंगा basin, गंगा, even कोसी. Yes, Sambhuj, absolutely. You can very well mention कोसी shift करेगा, लोग जो है encroach करते हैं. Flood, that is also there. Can I add urban floods? Urban floods. This is wetland encroachment. Everyone, remember we started brainstorming. What were you writing? Sir, agriculture is this because hailstone will come, drought will come, this will come. Have I changed the answer? Have I brought the idea of disaster? Have I brought the hazards first? Do I identify the hazard? Then do I look at vulnerability? General vulnerability of agriculture sector. Can I say agriculture in general? Have I made this as particular also? Remember we had a topic in India Physical about flood. Can you relate and take it there also? Can we do that or not? True. Drought. I have already given you the drought prone area map of India. Drought prone areas. Be it the hockey stick, that 100 to 60 region that we talked about, bordering the desert, hockey stick, cold regions also, and even highland region, they can have droughts, including Bundelkhand. If you remember that, UP mein I told you Bundelkhand also, those are the drought prone districts. If you don't remember, please take the lecture on India Physical on drought, pura map usme humne banaya. So I'm not repeating that. Do we get that? So apna refer map, rain shadow, yes, 60 centimeter rainfall and all those things, you can very well do that. अब यहाँ पे vulnerability कैसे बढ़ती है? How we have increased the vulnerability? Can I say wrong crop choice? Can I say overgrazing? Can I say increased population pressure? Especially the dry zone regions of India. True. Everyone clear with this? In this, can I also say farm distress because of credit, farmer loan, and farmer suicide? Maharashtra, you can take as an example. Hazard, vulnerability turning into a disaster, everyone, flood and drought. So, आज हम कर क्या रहे हैं? आज हम क्या कर रहे हैं? What are we doing today, everyone? So, पता नहीं सर आज क्या कर रहे हैं? हम तो miscellaneous कर रहे हैं. Well, the syllabus is miscellaneous. We are doing environmental hazards, floods, droughts. Do we get that? And am I doing it in a different way? Rather than telling you flood and drought, we are going the spatial way. We are taking it from the point of view of hazard and disaster. Hazard, disaster, and its management. Do we get that? Did we also bring in the land use, the urbanization part of it? Is everyone clear? The part of deforestation, desertification, soil erosion, we've already done, but we are connecting it to contemporary issues. Can you see my approach is more based on real examples, real case studies, so that you can also see that dead brainstorming सिर्फ वो छोटी-छोटी चीजें लाएंगे तो काम नहीं बनेगा. We have to work on specific points, disaster by disaster हमें लेके चलना पड़ेगा. True or not? एक और डिजास्टर ले लेता हूँ, लैंडस्लाइड ले लूँ. Can I take landslide? Indian agriculture landslide कहाँ पर होगा? Highland areas. Can I say foothills of Himalayas? Yes. And in peninsular hills and southern hill complex, or peninsular hills, I would also go for Western Ghats. Is everyone okay? Anshika, I've also written the same. Are you okay with that? So these are the areas. Vulnerability बताओ इनकी क्या हो रही है? How they are becoming more vulnerable? यहाँ पे deforestation कर रहे हैं. Deforestation, development projects, deforestation, developmental projects, tourism, economic activity in form of plantations. Plantations हो रहे हैं यहाँ पर. Deforestation, somebody said overgrazing. Yes, we can also say that also. Overgrazing. So highland areas, are we making them more vulnerable? Tourism, infrastructure development and everything, are we making them more vulnerable? Yes or no? Population pressure will also come. Population pressure will keep on increasing. Can I say limited carrying capacity? So what happens? If vulnerability goes up, what will happen? Risk is going up. Are we going for risk reduction or risk enhancement? अगर आप यहाँ पे डैम बना रहे हो, are we going for risk reduction or enhancement? Is our agriculture in the hilly areas? Is our agriculture in the hilly areas becoming more unsustainable, more hazard prone to this? Landslides भी होंगे. Landslide, mudslide, true. Soil creep, soil erosion and loss. Is that happening or not? True. Is our agriculture also prone to desertification? Desertification, can I say semi-arid areas? Normal desertification is a natural process. What is the vulnerability that we are adding? People's vulnerability, poor, marginal farmer. Yes. Can I also say reliance on groundwater, over exploitation? ये भी जनरली pastures में चल रहा है, तो grazing पे चल रहा है. So grazing की वजह से क्या हो गया? Over grazing. Vulnerability increasing or not? Groundwater exploitation, severe exploitation. Yes. Soil and other things are also there. So can I say biomass management is poor? How to manage the biomass, that is also poor. And like people encroach upon floodplains, there we see like sand dune encroachment. Sand dunes पर कुछ कर रहे हैं. Areas, can I say these semi-arid areas, dry zone areas, dry zone area map will be here. True. Indian agriculture prone to disasters. Rather than talking about flood and drought, once again repeat of it, we take a theme. Indian cities prone to disasters. Indian agriculture, can I say rural areas also? Can I say rural areas also? More meaningful. If you start thinking and writing in this manner, would you be more impactful in your answers? True. Since we're talking about hazard, tell me what are the ways, mitigation steps? Quickly think about it. Mitigation of disaster. Indian agriculture. Quickly tell me. फ्लड है ना बेटा, डिजास्टर वाइज चलो ना. फ्लड, जोनेशन, ड्रॉट. ड्रॉट को क्या करेंगे? What can be done with the drought? Water management. Can I say rain water harvesting? True. Groundwater recharge. Groundwater recharge should be there or not? Yes. Can I also say flood zonation, drought का और क्या चल रहा है? Groundwater recharge होना चाहिए. हाँ, wetland conservation. ठीक है. Crop diversification, again and again people are writing crop diversification. Sunday has also written, AP has also written. I would want to say that agroecologically suitable cropping. Yes or no? You are going into diversification, but diversification may not be pro this thing, resilience. True or not? Crop diversification does not mean bringing in sugarcane in the dry zone. Bringing sugarcane in the dry zone is also crop diversification. Sand dune fixing, grazing को limit करो. Yes or no? Groundwater exploitation and grazing, take care of this. प्रियांक, एफॉरेस्टेशन हर जगह बेटा फॉरेस्ट तो नहीं बन सकते, हाँ कुछ जगह पर कुछ ग्रीन बेल्ट इनिशिएटिव हो सकता है. नॉट एवरीवेयर ग्रीन बेल्ट इज देयर. हाँ, ग्रीन वॉल जैसे एक कहने अम्बुज वो हो सकता है. और मैं क्या कह रहा था डेजर्टिफिकेशन में, हाँ ड्रॉट रेजिस्टेंट क्रॉप्स. नो, मिनी फॉरेस्ट लाइक इन पंजाब. पंजाब में कुछ लगा दो, उड़ता पंजाब. पंजाब में फॉरेस्ट लगाने में क्या लगता है? लगा के दिखाओ जैसलमेर में. पंजाब इज नॉट डेजर्ट. नो, वो था पंजाब में मिनी फॉरेस्ट, यू कैन हैव मेगा फॉरेस्ट प्रियांक, कोई रोक रहा है? एग्रीकल्चर है ना भाई, इस एग्रीकल्चर को रेजिलिएंट बनाओ। रेजिलिएंट कैसे होगा? इंटीग्रेटेड, इंटीग्रेटेड व्हाट? बायोमास, वाटर, न्यूट्रिशन, पेस्ट मैनेजमेंट। होना चाहिए। Should we be working on that or not? क्या करेंगे? टेक्नोलॉजी, इसको बोलते हैं ना एक्सटेंशन सर्विसेज, लैब टू लैंड, एडवाइस द फार्मर, नो कैन आई से बेटर फोरकास्टिंग, फोरकास्टिंग डिसेमिनेशन। और एक और चीज है फोरकास्टिंग दिस थिंग, इंश्योरेंस कवर, make people resilience. I would also not want to miss on traditional knowledge. Should it be there or not? True. Drip irrigation, micro irrigation, zero budget natural farming, ऐसा कुछ आ रहा है? So here can you write your government schemes? फोरकास्टिंग में क्या है? रिमोट सेंसिंग सैटेलाइट्स भी है और अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम्स भी है। मुझे लगता है कम्युनिटी बेस्ड जो एक डिजास्टर रेजिलियंस है, दैट हैज टू कम। एंड इफ यू आर डिवाइडिंग फार्मर्स ऑन फार्म बिल, कितने उसे सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, कितने वो कर रहे हैं, आई डोंट थिंक सो दैट्स अ गुड आइडिया। ट्रू और नॉट? फार्मर्स को भी अगर बांटा जाए तो प्रॉब्लम है या नहीं? चैलेंज और नॉट? So we talked about urban areas and the disasters associated with that. We talked about the rural areas and agriculture disaster associated by that. हाँ, अगर cooperatives करेंगे, it can be cooperatives, it can be MSMEs, it can be as we are talking about rural industrialization, but in a sustainable manner that we are talking about through cooperatives, that can also be there. So multiple things can be there, but what I'm looking at is, are most of the things geographical on the screen or not? Physical geography, human geography, yes. That integrated thing, biomass management, water management, nutrition management, pest management, waste management. Do you have enough to write? और अगर मैप बनाने को बोला, everyone, if I make the map of the problems, can I make the map of the solutions also? Where all, say for example, पंजाब में rice intensification हो रहा है, अरवारी में क्या हो रहा है, water harvesting हो रहा है, water harvesting can you show on the maps which is happening at many places? Can we show that also? Can we say the introduction of some new crops, some new seeds, drought resistant seeds have been done? Can you talk about the green belts? So what I'm trying to say is, उसको भी तो map बनाया जा सकता है। If you start thinking this ways, and people who are listening to me, many people who are more into just slides, I'm inviting you into seeing the theme like this and tell me, if I have talked about this in 3 pages, India's agriculture, its proneness and this thing, can you go back home and convert it into proper notes? It will be revision also, you can value add also, newspaper se bhi milta, kariye na yaar. As I said, I want your hazards and vulnerabilities to come in a way that they don't turn into a disaster. Is everyone with me on this? ठीक है, एक और कर लेते हैं, since we are talking about hazards only. साइक्लोन हैजर्ड करें, साइक्लोन हैजर्ड, साइक्लोन डिजास्टर एंड इट्स मैनेजमेंट। आर वी क्लियर? साइक्लोन एज ए डिजास्टर एंड इट्स मैनेजमेंट। आई एम श्योर इसके लिए तो मैप इज इजी, कोस्टल एरिया। Are we okay with that? So map is easy, we can very well talk about these areas, these areas. Quickly tell me, what should we be writing in this? Should I talk about Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal separately? And should I talk about certain general things also? Certain general things also. Arabian Sea generally low, but from 2020 onwards, frequency and intensity has increased. Why? Because of climate change. So 2020, the year 2020, 21, we have seen that Arabian Sea is getting warmer and the frequency and intensity of cyclones hitting Arabian Sea has increased. Bay of Bengal, this has been the traditional cyclone area. Yes, the Coromandel coast to the Sundarban Delta. So that has to be there. True. Can I say strong winds, storm, surge, heavy rains, lightning, thunder, floods? These are the hazards. Can I say these are the hazards? Major hazards which we are looking at. And then obviously hazards are there, but there are different vulnerabilities, are different hierarchy of vulnerabilities are there. So immediately on the coast, slightly away from the coast, we will have different vulnerability. We have different vulnerabilities also. Different vulnerabilities, and I would say it is going to have a huge, like preparedness also difference. Different states, different level of preparedness. Though with the coming of National Disaster Management Act and NDRF, which is a specialized force for that, India, the central government will immediately send the NDRF battalions accordingly as per the request of the state. So the impacted state would request the center to deploy some of the forces, and NDRF are like they are trained into it. They are absolutely trained into, be it a coastal emergency, be it even a nuclear or chemical emergency. They are very well trained into that. But as I said, very well trained. So you are also very well trained. Yes, many engineers over here. Degree है सभी के पास. NDRF degree है. Yes or no? I don't know if you remember. I told you, like that student of mine who was a SDM at Bihar. Yes, one of the districts, and the district was under flood. NDRF got the boat, but the boat won't move. The engine not working. Person sinking, engine not working. What will the NDRF do? So engine थोड़ी बना देगा यार. So our SDM was an engineer. He repaired the engine and he said, चलो काम पे लग जाओ. So train उतना ही हो सकता है जितना ट्रेनिंग हम जानते हैं. चलिए और क्या डालना है जल्दी से बताओ. Everyone quickly, what else would you want to put? अगर ये हैजर्ड है और ये वल्नरेबिलिटी है तो डिजास्टर भी हो जाएगा. डिजास्टर में क्या होगा? What will happen in the disaster? Loss of life and property. Loss of life and property. Loss of livelihood. Yes, people who are on agriculture, fishing, will they be going or not? Yes. Loss of ecosystems. Coastal ecosystems, will they be lost or not? True. Loss of life support spheres. Say, for example, groundwater aquifer, soil cover. Yes or no? They might become unproductive. True. कुछ नाम भी दिखने चाहिए. ओकी, तमिलनाडु को हिट किया उसने. यस. तितली, ओडिशा. Get that? Then we have गुजरात में कौन से मारा था? वायु ने मारा और क्या नाम था? ताउते. अम्फान वेस्ट बंगाल. सब तो लिख दिया हमने. यस नो? ट्रू. आंध्रा रहेगा. आंध्रा में गज मार देना. गज इन आंध्रा. कुछ नाम भी आ गए. Map is there. Some cyclones also. What are the general hazards associated with it? Different vulnerability, different sections of people, different locations, and those disasters are also happening. And what should we do? We should do something. So there has to be a cyclone management in place. Cyclone management, remember, national level. People who do not know, who are beginners, जिन्होंने GS नहीं किया, I'll be talk about this tomorrow. NDMA at the national level. Yes or no? Disaster resilience infrastructure. As I told you, states will have to ask for help, and center can be looking at. True or not? इधर स्टेट पे क्या आता है? SDMA. इधर से क्या जाएगी? NDRF, National Disaster Relief Force. That can also come here. States should have made what? Cyclone shelters. ये preparedness है. Cyclone shelters and even weather warning dissemination. So the coast has to tell the people that this is the state of warning. Met department से collaboration में रहना होता है, and the state has to work on that. True or not? State can also be, district disaster management can also be there. Is everyone okay? एक ऐप है हमारे पास. I don't know how many of you have heard of that. सागरवाणी app. Do we get that? और ये जो आपको disseminate करना है, even in local language. Don't just प्रचार in this thing. Is everyone okay? Community level पर क्या है? District पर है DDA में, वो भी ये काम में लगा हुआ है. And everyone please understand, it is not that your work and my work. They work in collaboration. All three of them work in collaboration. And at local level, there must be capacity building of the community. But sir, I have heard there is pre-disaster, post-disaster, sir. We have to look at preparedness and then action. वो सब cycle है that you would have read in GS. Some of you would have read it in GS. Is this a GS answer? No. I have to make it geographical. True or not? So a little bit, as I was talking about, we understood EIA in a deeper level, but we have to convert that into geography or not. So that has to be there. So please understand that cyclone disaster, if you're talking about that, वो आपको करना पड़ेगा. You will have to think it that ways. और अगर आपका मन हो, you can bring the Sendai framework also. So there are students who in the end would say that as per the Sendai framework, build back better idea is always there. So we are in a state of preparedness, and if needed, if that happens, we want mitigation of the disaster to happen so that the impact of the disaster is minimized, and post disaster there should be relief, rehabilitation, and reconstruction also. Everyone okay? But all these are mostly theoretical. Are they missing or not? In reality, do we find them missing or not? So that can be the criticism. Criticism can go in the short-term understanding of it. We haven't learned many of our lessons. Bangalore ki flood. Imagine 2022 mein Bangalore flood. Tell me, almost every year, do we not hear that the municipal departments had not cleared up the drains? True. Bangalore mein aaj, Bangalore South Tehsildar giving notice ki you have encroached upon the government land. This is the flood, storm drain and all that. Pehle nahi pata. And imagine Tehsildar doesn't know. Is it possible? When he was allocating a builder making that post colony over there, the Tehsildar would not know. Tehsildar knows where the money is. Come on, don't tell me. Suddenly, when the action will happen, all those people, अरे बड़ा वाला problem हो गया, किसी को ढूंढा जाए, who's to be blamed, and then they would blame. Everyone with me on this. एक और कर ले. Forest fires in India. I said no. These topics, when we are talking about hazards and epidemics, are nahi. Epidemics I'll do tomorrow. Epidemics every time goes to the back. So in fact, I have to do some part of disaster management. Then only epidemics will be better. In fact, how we dealt with epidemic and pandemic, that will be a part of that. So quickly, forest fires in India. Forest fires in India. Think about it. What should be written in this? Forest fires in India. जल्दी 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 और कुछ नहीं सोच पा रहे तो मैप सोच लो. अच्छा, where will we get the data on this? Any idea? होमवर्क है आपका आज. Where will we get the data? जिन लोगों को नहीं पता है, अंबुज has got it correct. ISFR 2021 ये सबमिट करना है मुझे. फॉरेस्ट फायर डेटा ऑफ इंडिया. और एक मैप भी बनाना है. मैप में हाई, मॉडरेट, लो. Is everyone okay? So that's the homework. So why forest fire is happening? Why forest fire is happening? Quickly, everyone. Reasons. Natural reasons. Anthropogenic reasons. Basir, don't take shortcuts, bache. Get that? बहुत कॉमन है lightning. Get that? Heat waves. उत्तराखंड में heat waves. Very very natural. Dry pine leaves. High resin content catches fire. Dry pine leaves, cheer plant. Especially चीर का पेड़ जो आपने सुना, चीर पाइन, हिमालय and north east. I am so strongly tempted to jump to the map and map में बना दो. I'm so strongly tempted to jump to the map and draw it in the map. So everyone, lightning is a very very common cause. आपने सुना है lightning तो देखी है सबने या नहीं देखी है? Now tell me, lightning is common, heat wave is common or not? Very high temperature reaching, is it common? Dry leaf is common. अब रमेश कह रहा volcanic eruption, कहाँ पे, कहाँ volcanic कर रहा है? और volcano forest को जलाने के लिए आएगा, volcano सब जला देगा, ट्राई कर लो तुम, जो पहन के चले जाना, सब ले बीतेगा। मतलब फॉरेस्ट फायर हो रही है, पूरा volcano, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता। वो क्या है, रणवीर कपूर ने वो मारा है, ब्रह्मास्त्र, अग्नियास्त्र मारा हुआ है, कुछ भी। यस, और बता दूं, इवन ड्राई डेसिडुअस फॉरेस्ट, ड्राई deciduous forest, this ecosystem also, fires happen. They are a nutrient recycling method. Invasive species. बांदीपुर फॉरेस्ट फायर इधर बैंगलोर के पास, बांदीपुर फॉरेस्ट फायर, ड्राई डेसिडुअस, उत्तराखंड फॉरेस्ट फायर्स, ड्राई डेसिडुअस, नॉट ड्राई डेसिडुअस, ऑन द हाई altitude it is the fire. Yes or no? True. Anthropogenic, can I say zooming? Zooming. 36% of forest fires in India. Yes. And who's notorious? मिजोरम फायर, मिजोरम में जूमिंग फायर बहुत बहुत नोटोरियस है। डू वी गेट दैट? %28% of forest fires in India occur in the tribal belt of central India. Prepare ground for harvesting maua flowers and fruits. Get that? So harvesting, even tourism is creating fires. Even tourism is creating fires. 2019 Coimbatore fire attributed to tourism. सर टूरिज्म कैसे करता है? तुम नहीं पीते बीड़ी, बाकी तो पीते हैं बीड़ी, बीड़ी कैन डू अ लॉट। वो है ना गाना, बीड़ी जलाई ले, पूरा जंगल है पिया। Sometimes even deliberate fires. Or even poachers to distract the animals to run. Everyone okay? Forest fires, does it make sense? कहाँ से बनाएंगे ये मैप? I am expecting the data and homework to be submitted. Everyone clear with this? Our understanding of hazard, our understanding of disasters, and spatial understanding of it. Because geography, we need to understand it more spatially than other parts, because I want to see my students see their subject more geographically rather than anything else. ठीक है, कुछ measures बता दो कैसे रोका जाए? Measures, remedies है कुछ? Leaving big space in between tree lines. Very good. पेड़ों के बीच में फरोज बनाओ। एक ना नेशनल फॉरेस्ट फायर information database, if that is available, everyone, can I do hazard mapping from there? True or not? Can I do vulnerability analysis from there? Can I do that or not? Can I formulate region specific policies? Now Sneha, you wanted to dig space between tree lines, and what I have written, which one is more specific? Specific gets us more marks. True or not? Forest fire happens the forest fire, the people are not trained into it, the officials are not trained into it. That's also a problem. Training and proper PPE kit. Training and PPE, personal protective equipment. People who don't know what is PPE, personal protective equipment. If you don't know, net पे ढूंढा करो. Training and proper PPE kit to forest personnel. वरना क्या होगा? आग लगी, भागो भागो भागो, अरे बुझाओ, थोड़ा पानी डालो, कोई कुछ करो. अरे we should have proper ways of dealing with it. Yes, proper coordination between national and state agencies. We might need NDRF now. We might need NDRF. We might need helicopters spraying water, or even like something, like some ways of controlling fire. And there are times that forest has already caught fire. True. Now you want to stop it. So there is something called as creation of fire lines and controlled area burning. Creation of fire lines and controlled area burning. So if your forest has caught fire, get that, and the fire is spreading, what you do is you start another fire from this side. Let it spread here. Get that? And a point will come that it will automatically be stopped. But can I say this much area is burnt? What is this? Controlled burning. Is everyone okay with this? Controlled area burning. Satellite based. पता भी तो करना पड़ेगा, where is the fire? So satellite based fire detection system. Satellite based fire detection system. True. ये यूएस में नासा की सैटेलाइट्स में सब है, बाय रिमोट प्लेबैक सेंसिंग एंड जीआईएस, बहुत सारी चीजें सर विश्वर. अब तो मैं कह रहा हूँ रियल टाइम भी है, रियल टाइम सेंसर्स हैं नासा की. जस्ट टू राइट, नासा अपने लिए नहीं है, नासा की टेरा एंड एक्वा सैटेलाइट्स हैं. Those are working on that, and they have sensors called the MODIS sensor, so that keeps on looking at that. Eco stress, absolutely okay. जो भी आपको डालना हो अपनी सैटेलाइट्स का नाम, वैसे तो इंडिया की बात कर रहे हैं, ये सुनो, बट सबसे बड़ा क्या है? कम्युनिटी, सोसाइटी, NGO involvement, and not only in controlling it, in preventing, controlling, and even feedback on measures should be there. Is everyone with me on this? Are we clear? So I hope after the power cut and internet disaster, the class was not that big a disaster. You created value out of the class. Tomorrow we will talk something about disaster management part also of the GS, which unfortunately I was not able to bring in today's class. Morning mein kuch kaam tha, so I could not keep that class. So we are still on this disasters. I will be talking about epidemics tomorrow. Landslide, earthquake, can I leave that? If you want, I can give you a map on this tomorrow. We will see. Get it? Tsunamis we have to talk. I think there also we have not talked. So I'll talk about tsunami, I'll talk about epidemics, and we'll talk about disaster management. So tomorrow, that is what we're talking about. So thank you. It was a pleasure. See you, and do the homework. Homework clear, sabko? Forest fire, the map of it. I think we have a landslide map also, everyone. We have landslide map of India. We have the earthquake zonations also. 3 homeworks are, तीनों कर लो, एक ही बार में बन जाएगा. Landslide map of India. You look at the internet, you'll find out. Draw it yourself, okay? Second is the earthquake map of India, or earthquake seismic zonation of India. And third is Indian State of Forest report. Say I want you to take the forest fire map of India. Forest fire map, that and the data, state wise or like top regions. That should be done. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.